Welcome to the eForm Innovation Series, presented by FormsQuote, your trusted eForms resource. In this video, we'll be discussing how to migrate your InfoPath data to SQL and Access using DBXL Azure from Cadabra Software. Are you tired of wrangling with data that's trapped inside your XML forms? Are you worried about the cost of extracting data that's stored in your InfoPath forms? If so, you might be a good candidate to move your data into databases such as SQL and Access using Cadabra's DBXL Azure Web Services. We recommend moving your form data into a cloud-hosted database with DBXL Azure from Cadabra Software to avoid the difficulty of reporting on data that remains inside your InfoPath forms. With DBXL Azure, you can store your form data in a SQL database and reuse that data in Access for reporting purposes. If you want, you can still keep your forms and form templates on SharePoint so your users can continue to easily fill out forms using InfoPath Filler or through a browser-based form on a SharePoint site. Let's take a closer look at DBXL Azure. Here is a schematic showing you essentially how DBXL Azure works. Your users submit data inside InfoPath forms. This data is submitted to DBXL Azure, which in turn extracts the form data and stores it inside a SQL database that you have created. This makes that data available for reporting inside Access. What's more, you have the option of preserving these very same InfoPath forms on SharePoint so that the end users can continue to open, edit, and submit their forms from inside the SharePoint interface that they are already familiar with. Here I have an InfoPath template published to a SharePoint site. I'm going to open up one of the forms that I've already submitted and make a few changes. The first change I'm going to make is renaming the business purpose field. I'm also going to scroll down to the list of itemized expenses in this form and add a new expense. In keeping with our holiday theme, I'll add 3 French hens as a gift. Now that I've made a few changes to the form, I'm going to click the Submit Form button at the bottom, which will submit the form data that I've changed to DBXL Azure. Once that's done, I can then close the form, and if I choose to come back later and edit the form again, I can simply reopen the form from a SharePoint site, and those very same changes will be there. As you will see shortly, the business purpose field has indeed been changed to holiday party, and the third itemized expense that I just added is saved inside the form on SharePoint. Now let's take a look at the SQL database and refresh some of these views to see if the changes have indeed been propagated through DBXL Azure. And yes, the purpose field for this particular entry has changed to holiday party. And if I refresh this view that shows the itemized expenses submitted in all the forms in the library, you can see that the new expense I just added through the InfoPath form has indeed been propagated to the SQL database. Finally, over in Access, I have built a report on top of the form that I submitted in InfoPath that you just saw moments ago. If I refresh the view on this report, you will see that the business purpose field has indeed changed, and the additional expense item has been propagated through DBXL Azure, through the SQL database, into the Access report that I'm displaying here. With eForms innovations, you have the power to choose your own path. In addition to migrating your form data out of InfoPath and into a database, as shown in this video, you can also assess where and how many InfoPath forms are on your SharePoint site, maintain your existing InfoPath forms with our open source software solutions, and even extend the native functionality of your InfoPath forms beyond what is available out of the box. FormsQuo is the #1 destination on the web for managing and planning your eForms roadmap. In our forum, you'll find a community of InfoPath experts that can help you with your InfoPath and SharePoint design issues, as well as helpful blogs and articles that you can learn from. We also offer several open source software products to help you get the most out of InfoPath and SharePoint without having to write a single line of code. If you have any questions, you can contact us through our website, as shown on the screen. If you're watching this video on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment below, or subscribe to our YouTube channel for more instructional videos, and to stay up to date on the latest eForms and InfoPath tips and tricks. Thanks for watching, and remember to spread the word about FormsQuo, your trusted eForms resource.